Welcome to the Becks, a podcast that explores multimedia horror with hosts Becky and Sydney. Join us as we talk about movies, books, video games, music, and much, much more.
Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Sydney Rebecca.
And I'm Rebecca Snow.
And we're the Becks. And this week we're talking about Shaun of the Dead, which Becky apparently couldn't give two shits about.
Oof! Way to throw me under the bus there. Okay, so what she's talking about, so rudely, is that I tried to watch it twice in the past week and a half, and I just couldn't get into it this time. Now, I've watched Shaun of the Dead before, like the whole thing, but I don't know, it just didn't draw me in, I suppose.
And I told Becky that she needs to tell me these things because we're partners, but she hid it from me.
Oh, no. Listen to her with her voice breaking.
Yeah. I'm very
She'll be fine. We'll be fine. Shaun of the Dead. Funny, comedy, zombie movie.
It's okay, so on the poster it says it's a romantic comedy with zombies.
Okay.
And this came out in 2004, and this was kind of right in the peak of the zombie craze that started in like 2002 and went for like 8 frickin' years. This is also the same decade that The Walking Dead came out and blew up, and obviously it's a play on words from Dawn of the Dead, and it has lots of homages to different zombie movies. So it's primarily a comedy, primarily a romantic comedy with zombies in it. But it's also a social commentary, which we'll touch on in a little bit. I mean, it's pretty obvious right from the get-go that it's a social comedy because the zombie apocalypse happens and the main character misses it. He and his friend don't realize it's happening until way later. Even their friend who gets mugged, well, he says he gets mugged, but he gets bit by this person on the street. He thinks it's just like a homeless person, and it's starting to get really gross or whatever, and he's just like, they were just a gross homeless person. It's probably infected. Well, he was infected, but it was with the zombie virus. So there's lots of really funny moments in this movie. They make a ton of references to other zombie movies, other comedies. Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg, who plays the main character, Shaun, they do a lot of movies together. They did Hot Fuzz and At World's End, I think it was called. Do you remember that one?
No. Wasn't he in the Alien movie, too? What's the name of that one?
Paul.
I like Paul. Paul makes me laugh.
Actually, that makes me curious, because I know Nick Frost is in that, but was Simon Pegg as well? Oh, yeah, it was Nick Frost and Simon Pegg again.
I thought so.
So, yeah, Simon Pegg plays Shaun, and Nick Frost plays Ed. And so they're the two main characters. And the movie starts out just a normal day. Shaun wakes up, he goes to the convenience store, he goes into work. Like, it's very mundane. He has the same ritual every morning. And at first, you're kind of like, why is the movie showing us this? Like, it's boring. What's the point? Well, later on, when zombies actually start appearing, he goes through the same thing, his same ritual, except this time he doesn't notice that there's zombies. And in fact, like, there's a scene where he's kind of shuffling and yawning and groaning, and he kind of also is acting like another zombie, so the zombies just ignore him. And there's like a bloody handprint on a cooler at the convenience store that he goes to that he totally misses. I think even the cashier is a zombie, because he just leaves his money on the counter and leaves. Because he gets the same thing every day. And when he leaves the convenience store, he slips on blood, doesn't notice it's blood, and just goes on with his day. So this is what I was talking about the social commentary stuff. Mm-hmm. the joke is that in modern London, if zombies did happen, no one would notice. Because humans are stupid.
Well, and I think we're so engrossed in our phones, and back then maybe not so much, but other things. You just get in that routine and you kind of don't notice things around you.
Yeah.
You ever drove to, well, you literally don't live far from work, but you ever drove to work and been like, wow, I'm here already? You know, because you're so used to doing that drive that you're like, oh, I passed that already?
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, there's something to be said about getting so engrossed in your routine that you kind of become like a zombie. Mm-hmm. It's not that you're not paying attention. It's just when you're doing something, you're kind of on autopilot.
It's like muscle memory. We do that. They say, and this is by no means, but they say that that's how children get left in cars and stuff too. Because the parents get so used to their routine that if you throw it off and they are doing something different, like, you know, taking care of their children, that your mind just, this is your routine, this is what you're doing, this is how you're doing it, and they forget. That terrifies me. I would think if you threw a wrench into my routine, I would be aware.
Yeah.
But, yeah, well, they say that that's a thing.
I don't know. I almost kind of feel like with women, it can be a little bit different because my mom drilled into me when I started going to college to not take the same route to my classes and stuff. And I just went to a community college.
Yeah.
But she was like, you know, switch up your routine. That way if anybody's ever following you, they, you know, whatever. Like, they don't know your haunts. Whatever. And I'm like, Ma, like, most of my classes have, like, 15 people in them. Like,
smart thinking of her. It really was. I mean,
right,
you know.
Yeah. And I do get paranoid sometimes because I just mostly stay in, you know, my 10, 15-mile radius.
Yeah.
That I do think about it sometimes. Like, wow, it'd be really easy to stalk me. Please, listeners, do not stalk me.
Yes, let's not do that.
There's also a lot of talk with, like, film analysts about how the okay, so we're talking 2002 was when the zombie thing kind of took flight and blew up. Because it was kind of a renaissance, right? Because I think Night of the Living Dead came out in, like, the 60s. Late 60s, 70s, whatever. And that caused that was like the original zombie craze, right? But in 2002, there was a resurgence, and a lot of people think it was because of 9/11.
Really?
Yeah. So, when I was looking into this movie, because, you know, I don't want to have every episode just be, like, reiterating what the movie was and stuff. You guys can watch the movie. I kind of wanted to have more of an interesting conversation about it. Mm-hmm. This specific person, Peter Dendel, Jerry Canavan, and Kyle Bishop, they all kind of made the connection of there being a huge, like, body of zombie movies being produced after 9/11, and they think that the Renaissance reveals a connection between zombie cinema and post 9/11 cultural consciousness. So horror movies have always, like, historically reflected what's going on in real life. Whenever there's, you know, a huge influx of a specific genre, people have been connecting it to things like societal change since cinemas began. And the reason why they think zombies in particular happened after 9/11 is because of the fact that it's an unnatural death. And it was, like, wide-scale destruction and devastation. So it was like a communal consciousness that found the narrative expression in zombie apocalypses. For over 30 years, honed images of desperation, subsistence, and amoral survivalism to a fine edge. So I found that really interesting because I was never super into zombie horror. I found some of the movies good. Like, Night of the Living Dead is a classic.
Well, yeah, it's a classic. So if you're a horror enthusiast, you're gonna want to watch that movie, because if you don't, then you're just not a horror enthusiast.
Well, and it's interesting how much zombies have changed since that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was like they were kind of the slow rambling corpses or whatever.
No, we can't, no, because that is what zombies are. You're not going to give me the fast-running World War Z zombies, because I'm going to tell you that's wrong.
You think it's stupid?
It terrifies me.
Oh, it's
the
just
zombies
scary.
Can move that fast. That and I Am Legend and no.
Well,
no.
Okay, I do want to bring up I Am Legend because it's kind of an outlier because they're technically vampires.
Okay, well, because they only come out at night.
It's like a viral vampirism that happens. They made the movie. It's very different from the book. They made the movie specifically around the zombie renaissance and stuff like that, so it kind of got lumped in with it. But technically, they're not zombies. But you have a point with the World War Z and The Last of Us.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true too. And no, I don't like fast-moving zombies.
It's like a fungal zombie.
No, because I know that means I'm dead, because I don't move fast. So, slow, lumbering zombies, I have a chance.
Yeah,
fast-moving World War Z, where they're piling on top of each other like they're ants?
Yeah.
Hell no.
That's really scary.
You know, Shaun of the Dead, the zombies are just dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they're really dumb. They're sitting and they're talking and fighting, and they're not even eating them yet, so... Dumb zombies. Those are the ones I want.
Yeah. No, same. I mean, if I had the choice, I mean, I see TikToks all the time where it's like, oh, is it, Night of the Living Dead zombies or is it The Last of Us zombies? And it's like, yeah, everyone's choosing Night of the Living Dead zombies.
Yeah, I want the slow lumbering dumb zombies. Thank you.
That's the thing that always drove me nuts about The Walking Dead. We're getting off on tangents, but it's fine. We're having fun, right?
That's what we're supposed to be doing, right? We're not talking completely about this movie. We're talking about interesting conversation.
So, The Walking Dead, the more years that passed in that series, I stopped watching after, like, season 5, I think.
I can't remember it. When Glenn died.
I gave up.
Oh, spoiler alert.
It's been years since Glenn died, okay?
When Glenn died, I was done.
I gave up way before that.
Oh, really?
I watched that episode because everyone was being like, oh, it's so controversial.
It was so horrid.
So I did watch it, and I was just like, oh, that sucks. I see why everyone was upset about that. I think that killed the show.
Probably. I don't know. There are
people.
still some fans out there, but I was done. Not because they killed Glenn. It just became probably where you were headed before I interrupted you about the Glenn. It became more about the people and less about the zombies, and there were less zombies. And so for me, if I'm watching a zombie show, I gotta see the zombie show.
No, that's the thing too. And the longer you go on during a zombie apocalypse, you shouldn't be getting bit if you've survived fucking 4 years.
Yeah, how dumb can you be?
Literally. Like, they're so, especially in that series, they're so easy to avoid. Like, unless you're in a situation where you're surrounded by 30 of them, you can just do a light jog.
Yeah.
Like, just...
Exactly.
You can get away.
Yes. Yes.
So, I don't know. It's just that
apparently you become as dumb as the zombies once you've been in it for a long time. There's
an argument that could be made that you get complacent because you're used to the threat, so you're just like, oh, they won't get me, they're slow and dumb, and then you take unnecessary risks. I guess that could be an argument, but
suppose.
I digress.
Okay.
So in this movie, Shaun's girlfriend breaks up with him.
Rightly so.
Yeah, because he didn't plan anything for their anniversary. He was a big douchebag about it.
Yeah, all he wants to do is hang out with his loser friend.
Yeah.
Literally loser friend.
Yeah. Just sits around, plays video games, drinks beer. And when he's not sitting around playing video games, drinking beer, he's at the pub drinking beer.
Yes.
Those are the two only places you can find Ed. And Shaun quickly realizes, like, oh, I really fucked up. Like, she was the love of my life. And that gets compounded by the fact that, oh, yeah, there's a zombie apocalypse happening. And Shaun's immediately worried about her. Her name is Liz. And he's also worried about his parents.
Yes.
Well, his mom and his stepdad, who he doesn't get along with. Now, in this movie, he's like 28, 29. And the fact that he hates his stepdad to the degree that he does in this movie, I found to be very comical. And I also love the actor who plays Philip, his stepdad. Oh, who was that? Bill Nighy. We talked about Bill Nighy before because you were like, Bill Nighy is in that? And I was like, no.
I know, you threw me off. I heard you wrong.
It was funny. So he plays Philip, and Penelope Wilton plays Barbara, his mom. I'm not familiar with that actress.
She's so funny. I love her.
She was hilarious.
She was hilarious.
She was
the
great.
whole thing. I'm like, yep, that's me. It's me as a mom in the zombie apocalypse. Pretty sure.
So, at home, again, like, before they leave, Pete, the roommate of Shaun and Ed, he complains of the bite wound from a mugger, and he tells Shaun that he needs to stop leaning on Ed and get a life and, you know, be a productive member of society. So they kind of like, whatever. They actually encounter 2 zombies in their garden. And the scene is great. They end up throwing, like, household items at them, beating them to death. And they actually throw his record collection, Shaun's record collection, at them. And Shaun is so picky about the ones that he lets Ed throw.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, oh, no, not that one, please. Which, relatable. I do understand that. Some of them, I think, were collectibles, you know. So, after they take care of the zombies in the garden, they devise a plan to rescue his mom and Liz and Philip. They have to escape their apartment because Pete has since turned into a zombie. And they steal his car. And they grab his parents, and they find out that Phil has been bitten. And Shaun is like, I don't want to take this guy. But Barbara's not going to leave without her husband. So they end up kind of reluctantly taking Phil with them.
They stuff them all in the back seat.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them.
Well, Ed actually purposefully crashes the car that they came with so that they can take Phil's really fancy car, which was pretty funny. But it's a sports car, so it's like the most cramped and uncomfortable thing ever. And there are, just like other comedy movies, there are like actual moments of really good heart and stuff. Phil and Shaun actually do make up and make amends before Phil, unfortunately, turns into a zombie. Which, when he turns into a zombie, is also a very funny scene.
It is. It's very funny.
They pick up Liz, and Liz won't leave without her flatmates, David and Diane. And eventually, they have to abandon the car. They sneak through the neighborhood and actually meet another group led by Shaun's friend, Yvonne. And they're kind of like mirror opposites of their own group. They have to, they fight some zombies or whatever, but then they have to, like, there's this huge horde of zombies that they have to try to get past. So they all just decide to act like zombies to get to the pub. That's like their destination.
I loved when they were practicing.
Yeah. Also a really funny scene. And it's a good thing that these are dumb zombies, because I think in other zombie movies, there's like a smell element to it. Like they can smell if you're living or whatever. These ones, you were just able to act like a zombie and it was fine.
Yeah.
Which, again,
that's my type of zombie.
Lucky for our protagonists.
Yeah, because in The Walking Dead, you have to like rub dead zombie stuff on you.
Yeah.
So they don't smell you.
Which is disgusting.
Yeah.
Some really horrible, gross shit that happens in that show.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was devastated from, like, I think episode 1 when, what's his name? What's the main character? What's his name?
Rick,
yeah. When he takes his horse and they attack the horse.
Oh, yeah.
And he has to leave
that was rough.
I was like, that sucks. I'm emotionally checked out.
I didn't start watching The Walking Dead until, like, season 5 was already out.
Oh.
Then I started watching, so I binged and watched some when Vince was sick.
Binging it is a good way, but it's just, there's so
much. But
much.
I still haven't gone back and tried to finish
There's
it.
fucking 15 seasons or whatever. And now they have all those offshoots, and, like, the thing that is crazy to me, I just want to go on a quick rant right now. So, Glenn was with Maggie, right?
Yeah.
And Negan was the one who killed Glenn. And now, like, she's with Negan. Can you believe it?
I did not know this. Now I'm super mad. How could she? She was pregnant.
Yeah.
He beat. Oh.
Yeah.
Maggie's a horrible human being.
How do you get there?
There is no way I could get there.
They've had to make so many narratives.
His eyeball was hanging out of his head when he got done beating him to death.
This is the thing, is I only know this because the internet has spoiled it for me, and everyone freaked out when that happened because what the fuck? What type of narrative writing leaps do you have to take to get Maggie, who was with Glenn...
And pregnant
with his child, and saw him beaten to death with a nail bat, and then she's like, oh yeah, I like that guy now.
Yeah, that's twisted.
Yeah.
Apparently, you do become dumb when you are surrounded by zombies.
I guess. Yeah,
what an evil bitch. I am appalled.
It's such a betrayal to Glenn, right?
Yes.
I'm sorry that was a spoiler, but I couldn't hold it in.
Wow. I probably will never watch it. I would have never known. Holy Hannah.
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed in that woman. So she's going to raise her child with the man that beat her child's... I don't even know if she has a child, if it actually happened or whatever.
Oh, yeah, explain that to your child.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm with the man who killed your dad.
Ugh.
I thought it was hot, apparently.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Anyway. Jeez, wow. Way to mess with my psyche.
Yeah. No, it's fucked up. Nothing like that happens in Shaun of the Dead.
No. Much better. Jeez.
So they all kind of gather in the bar, and it's funny that they end up there. David, who is Liz's roommate, really, Shaun has always felt that David has hated Shaun, and in fact, his mom actually ends up getting bitten, and David's all ready to shoot her, and he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's my mom, and it was really a messed up scene.
Yeah, it was.
David gets what he deserves later on.
He does.
He's just a prick. I guess I shouldn't...
He really is. He's not a nice guy.
I shouldn't say that he deserved to die. But it was a prick move. He was just a prick. He acted like an asshole the whole time. He did... You know, Shaun ends up having to shoot his mom. Very emotional scene. Awful. They... You know, there's a shotgun, I think, behind... I don't know if it was a shotgun or a rifle. But it was behind the bar that he and Ed had always kind of been like, oh, you know, is it a working rifle? Do you think it's loaded? Well, it works. They use it. Ed is able to... He actually acts as a because I forget exactly how it happens. I think... Oh, that's right. So when David dies, he is, like, pulled through the window, like the broken window, and his stupid friend opens the door to try to get to him. Like, she takes his, like, severed leg and is, like, beating zombies up with it. But she lets all the zombies into the pub in the process. And Ed is used as a distraction. He uses himself as a distraction so Shaun and Liz can get away. And shortly thereafter, Yvonne shows up with the army, and they're all rescued. Well, I mean, most people are dead by now.
Yeah.
But like, the movie cuts to several months later. I think it's like 6 months later. Mm-hmm. Shaun and Liz are back together. They're keeping Ed as like a pet zombie. Because Ed is still able to play his video games with Shaun. So it's kind of revealed in the movie that zombies aren't really a threat anymore. They're used for like entertainment.
Yeah.
Which, again, this is a social commentary as much as it is a comedy and a romance. So it's a good movie.
It is. It's a funny, cute movie. It is. You know, it's not terrifying or scary or...
No.
It's just...
If you're really scared of zombies, I guess maybe there's stuff in there that scare you. But it's pretty lighthearted. There's some emotional scenes and stuff. But in general, it stays well within the realm of comedy. Yeah. I think... The reason why you probably didn't like it as much is that it is very much British comedy. And we talked about this with Darth Marenghi a little bit. Like, you have to...
I actually really liked Shaun of the Dead years and years ago. I think maybe it just was... I wasn't in the right headspace to sit down and watch it this time.
Okay.
Because, I enjoyed it years and years ago when I watched it. And I've watched it multiple times. So... Yeah. I don't know. Just wasn't there this time, I guess.
Well, that's okay. They can't all be winners, I guess. I do feel bad.
Don't feel bad. I watched some good movies this week. I watched Alien, Romulus, and I watched...
Oh, you did end up renting that?
Roger did when I was gone.
Mm.
And I watched...
You watched Scream again.
Last night, which was really good. Forgot how good Scream was. I had to laugh because Omen said she was watching the new Scream movie, and her mother had commented on how it was so violent. And Omen said, I'm watching this one, and it's very violent. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what she was thinking, because the first Scream is not violent.
So the scene that popped into my head when you said that was, oh gosh, I can't remember who it is. I think is it Matthew Lillard's girlfriend in the movie?
Uh-huh.
When she
the
gets...
garage?
Yeah, when she gets stuck in the garage.
She gets stuck in the doggy door.
Yeah.
And then it just crushes her head.
And her boobs. I remember her boobs.
Yeah.
It was a product of its time.
Yeah. No,
and she did have great boobs, so.
She did. Her nipples were hard when she was dying.
Yeah.
Weird thing to say, but I noticed because they were sticking out of the hole.
Oh, they really were.
And it was like, oh my God, she's stuck. She can't get out because of her boobs. And then it just smushed her neck and snapped her neck and smushed her head, and it was gross. But the funny thing about that scene, too, that we laughed, and again, we're not even talking about Shaun of the Dead, sorry, but the funny thing about that scene is, like, they all left the house. Like, all the kids left the house when they found out the principal was killed and this and that. Nobody noticed her in the garage door. Nobody. Like, okay.
Well, again, okay, let's put this out there, though. First of all, people are dumb and unobservant.
People are dumb. True.
Also, Scream is technically a social commentary movie too. It's a satire. It's a satire of the genre, but it's so good at what it fucking does that people forget. I mean, the whole time you have that one character who's just like, oh yeah, the killer's always doing this, or like, this is always happening,
Don't
right?
you know the rules?
Yeah, the rules, and then the virgin, and you know, all that stuff. Like, it's very tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
It's so good. I love the original Scream.
I love the original Scream, too. No, it was very good last night.
So good.
That makes up for me not being into Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
So, what are we doing next?
I don't know, man. We gotta do something crazy special for Halloween.
We are. We're going to do something crazy special.
We bought these masks. Super cool.
Yep.
We're gonna record a video, I think.
We're going to do live. Like, well, not live.
Oh my God. Not live.
Do live.
That would freak me out. Oh my God. There's too much pressure.
There is a lot of pressure.
This is stupid.
But we are going to do a video. You're going to get to see us on YouTube, apparently, because that's the only one I think we can post video to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be on our YouTube channel, so...
If you're not following us on YouTube, definitely go and do that.
Yeah.
We do, if that is your preferred app to use, you can go over to YouTube and listen to us there. We have all of our episodes uploading there, as well as Apple Music and iHeartRadio podcasts. There was some talk of us doing like a Discord so we could talk to our fans and stuff, but I don't think we're quite big enough for that yet. But there's other stuff we can do on Discord, so that's just one of the things that we'll be looking into. But again, check out our YouTube channel. Follow us there because we will be uploading something special for Halloween.
There will be something on TikTok too. We'll add to TikTok. Might just be a shorter version.
Yeah.
But we're going to put a TikTok up.
Yeah, we're going to record the videos soon because we've never edited videos. So that'll be interesting. We're very skilled. I'm sure you can tell.
Yeah. Our equipment is still a cardboard box with a pillow. But we're getting there. Getting there. We met a really cool author this week. Mm-hmm. We were down in Frankenmuth, Michigan.
We were celebrating our birthdays. We got free dinner at Zender's. Delicious.
So good.
And we went to an apple orchard, and we went to all of the little shops in Frankenmuth and stuff like that. And they had like this whole, I don't know, it was something the bookshop was putting on.
Yes.
With a bunch of local authors and stuff.
Yes.
Nicole Beauchamp, I hope I'm saying that correctly. I forgot to ask her before we left.
She's a Michigan author. She does paranormal investigation and massage.
And massage, yes.
Yes. But she does a lot of paranormal investigation. She has multiple books. We did purchase one. I'm super excited to read it about Detroit hauntings and things like that.
Detroit. Mm-hmm.
I did start reading it the other day.
Oh, sweet.
And so there's lots of things there, and we're hoping to see her at more events as well. And
yeah, we told her about the haunted crossroads thing that we did, the curiosities and at crossroads that we will be going to next year. So hopefully she reaches out to them, or maybe we can, if she isn't able to make it to this one, we can recommend her and they can reach out to her for the next one.
Yeah, super cool ladies that we met. They were awesome. So I think that night she did a paranormal investigation of the Masonic Temple in Bay City. And it went really well from what I read on her Facebook. So that's awesome.
That's the one you said where like pretty much everybody on the team.
Everybody that was there had a paranormal experience.
Ooh.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. Things being thrown at them. Different things. Seeing apparitions.
No thanks.
I know. I'm too scared to do it. I'll read about it.
I want to do it, but I also don't want to do it.
I know.
It's one of those things where I've always believed that if you reach out to something and you try to talk to something, like, things are going to talk to you back. And I know that's the point. But at the same time, I don't want to be talked to.
Well, I watched that movie White Noise years and years ago. I don't know. My kids were just little. Keegan might not have even been born by then. I don't know. And they literally said that like 9 out of 10 of the electronic voice, EVPs or whatever it is.
Yeah, EVPs.
Are threatening.
9 out of 10?
Like 9 out of 10, it was a huge number. And I, at that point, decided that is not what this girl is going to do. Because I thought about it. My dad's been gone since I was 22. You think about these things. You want to reach out to the people that you love. And maybe, I hope my dad has moved on and is in a much better place. But I always thought, well, maybe he could give me a sign. Maybe he could say something to me. I mean, I don't want him always hanging around, but something. But my luck, it was going to be some weird spirit that was like, you shall die.
Or pretends to be him, and then slowly it all gets twisted, like in every horror movie ever.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Yeah, no. So, I think what we should do is we should put a poll on our Facebook, not that we have a huge amount of following, to see what they want us to talk about. Like, do they want us, give them choice? Do they want us to talk about personal experiences that scared the hell out of us? Another movie or something Halloween-y that they want us to talk about? Or a place that is, supposedly haunted and terrifying. I know there's different roads over by Rose City that are supposed to be like you park and your car just rolls even though you're flat and things like that. Yeah. Yeah. So, things like that we could go find. I know that my daughter Drew told me about some road in Saginaw, and she said it scared the hell out of her. She swore she brought something back from this road. It was really scary.
What the fuck?
I don't know. But she told me about it and it scared me. I was like, I'm not going there, Drew. You're stupid. No, I'm too scared of that. But she said it was really freaky. So.
Yeah, so let's do it. We'll do a poll on Facebook. You guys will see that poll before we upload this episode.
Yeah, because we want to get it ready to go and we want to record. Because we don't want to record on Halloween. We want to be able to have everything ready to go.
Yeah, we want to party on Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though we work the next day.
We work the next day. But it's Halloween. I don't know. I want to do something Halloween.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's us rambling tonight. Started out with Shaun of the Dead, and it turned into really lots of different things.
That's okay. I got you to engage.
She was worried I wasn't going to talk.
Yeah. So... I don't know. I had a lot of fun this episode. I think our listeners will like it. They can tell when we're having fun with something. So.
Very true.
So that's going to be all for this episode. We look forward to catching you next time, where you will see our faces, or our masked faces, I should say. It's going to be great.
This is a huge step for us, just so you know.
We're really
We like to hide behind our microphone and not be seen. So
yeah, we even debated about putting our photo that we got done professionally at the Crossroads Fest, we were like, do we want to put our faces out there?
Yeah. So. Yeah, behind the mic is good for us. We're just really nervous. But I guess we got to get there because we do have presentation to do next summer. And people are going to see our faces then unless we wear black cloaks. Who knows? You never know. We might be wearing black veils over our faces. So then they can't see us.
Listen, that's an intriguing idea.
I know, right? It would make us even... We'd be creepy. So that would be all right.
Let's think about that. Today the pod, tomorrow the world. My name is Sydney Rebecca.
And I'm Rebecca Snow.
And we're the Becks.